opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at MBRadio.us.
All right, good evening. Welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website and MBRadio.us. We got to bless the show before we get started. Let's go. When I was in my mother's womb, I had a calling on my life to do something in the glory of God and marry it like a wife. Commit myself to his word and never be led astray. And when it's all over, when he comes, I'll be glad to see that day in the morning time. All right. Good evening and welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website, the station that leaves no listener behind, plus MBR. That's right, MBR on Roku and all of their streaming platforms as well. So we're all over the place on the Farron Dozier Show / Sports Collective TV, media, and radio. Got an exciting show for you tonight, of course, as always. So stay tuned for that. I got the deck full with the crew here. So we are going to have a nice talk tonight. Always deal with some mental toughness, some mental health, some sickle cell trait talk. What else? Hydration, military talk, all of that right here on the Farron Dozier Show, the variety show. But tonight we're bringing on our Sports Collective media, TV, radio crew. So let me play these PSAs and then we'll come back with the crew right here. The Farron Dozier Show. Where's that other stuff at? Here we go.
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Calmago. Calmago is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes. In moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Calmago decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Calmago.com to learn how you can get Calmago through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
Get ready for an epic collaboration as MBRadio and Patriot Radio join forces. These veteran-owned stations are uniting to bring you top-notch veteran-run podcasts along with your favorite classic rock music 24/7. Stay tuned for the ultimate radio experience that celebrates our heroes and plays the tunes that never get old. From engaging discussions to timeless hits, this partnership has everything you need for your listening pleasure. Don't miss out on this exciting new chapter in radio history as MBRadio and Patriot Radio come together to rock your world.
All right, welcome back to the Farron Dozier Show, aka Sports Collective TV, media, radio. Make sure you go get the apps too. KCAA Radio has an app and MB Radio also has an app. So make sure you go download those. You can catch us streaming all across those platforms. Plus, if you're in the Inland Empire and you're in your vehicle and you got to get out, grab your device, laptop, smartphone, type in KCA Radio, and you can catch us streaming right now from the website. All right. Let me see. Let's see. What's up, man? What's up, man?
No introduction no more, huh?
Yeah, no. You're a regular. No, you're done. You're done with the introductions. What's happening?
How's it going? This
we
is
live.
Emmanuel, the happiness coach. I just wanted to say what's up, everybody. No.
Yeah, what's happening, man? How you
Man, I'm good. I heard you talk about mental toughness, and I was just like, yeah, that's a great conversation. You sent that article to me, and I thought it was really powerful on what it really means, WDC issues, what it looks like to have trait, and even today, like to for people not to recognize what it looks like. And I think that tells you that the conversation is still relevant.
Yeah, no, it is, man, and I've got to be able to address those conversations. Very, very important. And
I think there's an assumption, Farron. There's an assumption that because you are a man, the mental toughness that you are trying to build through, whether it be, training, or whether it be through, sports, whatever, that you are more of a man if you ignore all physical signs of weakness and interpretations of what physical signs of weakness look like.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a conversation.
Is that a male issue or is that a human being flaw?
It's a male issue. Here's why I say that, because I think that when there's definitely human issues around that, right? But I think if you tell the truth, like there's an expectation when it comes to men that if you're in this space, and let's say, especially in things like the article you sent me, where it's like, okay, someone's in training for whether it be police training or army or whatever it is, and the expectation is you can handle it, you're tough. That's really what the expectation is.
Right.
So if somebody says I have an issue that doesn't allow me to go this far, I personally have gone through that. Now my story, but when I finished the Dr. Sebi treatment and I went back to the gym, because I was like, not back, really for the first time in my life, because I couldn't go to the gym before that. And I was going to the gym, and I had a trainer, and I tried to explain to the trainer that, look, I'm coming from a history that's very different from other people. Most people with sickle cell don't come up and able to do this. You know what the guy told me? He was like, man, nah, that's just an excuse. You're mentally weak.
Yeah.
It's still a conversation, Farron. It's like, because if you tell somebody, look, there are some things that I have to be careful for in order to live my life in a way because of a health issue, because they don't see the health issue on your face or on your body, they don't realize that there's a real conversation around everybody has limits. Everybody has to be able to understand. And that doesn't make you weak. It makes you aware. It makes you know yourself. And so, yeah, mental toughness is a conversation that I think a lot of people struggle with. And the reason why people struggle with mental toughness is because they think that mental toughness means ignoring or not being aware of the self.
So when you say, when I say mental toughness, right, I want to point to mental toughness from the aspect of the person who knows that they're dealing with, right? So with that mental toughness comes the self-awareness.
Yeah.
It comes the self-confidence. It comes the self-esteem. It comes the self-worth, because just because you're dealing with a pre-existing condition, or you're born with this inherited gene, or you're born with a type of disease, I believe that gets in the way more than the society's conversation about it. I have to have the wherewithal, the strength.
I know.
To say, hey, you know what? I have this inherited gene, and this is what it looks like, and to have the confidence and be okay with the response of the person, right? Because how you respond is going to be how I'm going to be able to educate you.
Sure.
And have you aware. So
I know the conversation you're having, because you and I have had it. Like it's so yeah, there is a part that as a person who lives with any kind of condition, right? I'm not even talking about me. I'm saying a person who lives with a condition needs to be able to be okay with themselves, so there's self-awareness to get there.
Right.
It still requires the society to have an awareness as well, because the interaction between, so yes, you can educate people, you can tell people, But if someone isn't even open to that interaction of like, hey, I'm trying to tell you something, right?
Yeah, but everybody's not going to care what we care about.
No, and you don't have to have everybody to care, but it is the responsibility of governmental entities, of societal leaders. Let me be clear. Let me give you an example. All right, since you, I'm glad you're asking this because this is important.
Yeah, because go ahead.
I'm gonna tell the story the way it happened to me. A lot of people don't know this story because it's very personal and I don't really share it. But years ago, I was stopped by a police officer. I'm going to tell the short version of it. I don't know.
We ain't got that much time. Yeah.
So I was stopped by a police officer, and they were in the wrong. Let me just put that out there. They were completely in the wrong. That's for sure. But because of time, I'm not going to go into it because it's really more complex. But so they stopped me. Never got arrested because there was nothing to arrest me for. That's how wrong it was.
Okay.
But it was cold, and they asked me to sit down on the sidewalk. So I sat down, and I told them, I said, I can't sit here for too long. This was before I did the Dr. Sebi and all the health changes that I've had. Yeah. So they asked me to sit on I'm like, I can't do that because if I sit here in this cold, I'm going to have a crisis.
Yeah.
They did exactly the opposite of what they should have done. I ended up in the hospital. Then they wanted me to sign papers to say that what they did, that essentially to take the blame. So I wouldn't sign the papers. I was like, no, because you know that what happened, this was actually you guys.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm giving you this very short version.
Yeah.
So I look back on that and I'm like, do you realize that experience didn't have to happen if there was a training around how to treat someone with sickle cell, what it means? It didn't have to happen. So that is a real thing that happens to people. Am I saying that that the government is responsible for everything that happens with sickle cell? No, I'm saying if I had said I'm having a heart attack, they would have had to have a different response.
But I agree with you. But there's also a part of this conversation that there's so many chronic illnesses. There's so many different things that people are dealing with that we can't leave that up to the government system to take care of for us. So we have to be the ones.
They need to be involved as well. It should be a two-way street, because if you look at it, just to be fair, to be totally fair, Farron, when you look at the responsibility of say the police, right? When you look at that, because I'm thinking about that particular article you sent me. When you look at their responsibility, right? We do have expectations. We do have expectations on them being able to understand certain things. Are they going to be good and right on point for everything that happens? No, but there should be some expectations of sort of like standards of how you run certain things. And if they're not there, yes, it's our responsibility to require that of them.
So the article that he's addressing is there was a police cadet who in Denver, Colorado, who was going through the program and collapsed, hit his head. They forced him up to continue, brought him to the EMS because he was saying he was having leg cramps. The EMS cleared him, and he went back to doing the police training and then collapsed and then ended up in the hospital. And now he lost his legs amputated, right? So yes, there is, and he told him, the article says that he told him that he knew he was a trait carrier, right? So there's a part of that he made them aware. My part of that is the EMS part.
Me too.
The EMS part, because if they would have paid attention, if they would have known, they've been educated of the symptoms, of the signs of trait exertion with rhabdomyolysis, maybe they would have had a better.
He might have his legs today.
He might have his legs today. Same with the police department. They could have also done a better job, possibly, to ensure that his health. And then there's a level of responsibility on himself, right? Because if he knew he was a trait carrier going into the police force academy with those strenuous trainings. Also, I don't know for sure if he is from Denver or how long he lived in Denver, but it says that he lived in Denver. So already with sickle cell trait, with my knowledge and understanding, with sickle cell trait, living in a climate like Denver, Colorado, like his body was already under a level of stress, just living in the environment. And so some people don't even know that. Like, yeah, you might look good on the outside, but what's happening to your organs when you're living in an elevation like Denver, Colorado?
Right.
So I'm saying that there's a lot of different things going on in that case.
Sure.
What hurts me is the fact that he had to lose his legs. And also, if it was rhabdomyolysis, that is a result of rhabdo, because when rhabdo happens and you experience renal failure, then there's no circulation getting to those legs.
Right.
Plus, the legs are swelling because there's no release because the kidneys are failing. Right. So the body, for some people, their limbs swell up. So when you look at his picture, I was trying to bring up his picture. When you look at his picture, it's like, oh my gosh. Like, for me, it was like, that's got to be connected with rhabdo, because how they cut his arms open, I'm sure to relieve the pressure of the swelling.
When did that happen?
What was that was the article came out in July 28th, 29th, some time frame around there. I'm trying to pull it up here. Yeah, oh yeah, that's like most recent.
The reason I ask is because what I said earlier, which is the conversation still matters. We still have a lot of education to do in this area of people understanding. And I agree with you, Farron. You already know. I agree with you that we do have a conversation to have. Where there's an inside conversation to have with patients, but the outside conversation is, what do we do inside of these systems to bring awareness that lets people know that if I'm and I choose not to say there are so many diseases that it could happen. And the reason I choose not to say that is because I really believe that there are enough of us who struggle with the issue that it should be at the top. We are the largest when it comes to sickle cell disease and sickle cell trait, the largest, blood disease that exists in the world.
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying, but at
I think there is an internal work.
At the same time,
yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can pull this up here.
Sure. So I'm not negating the other side of the conversation. I just want to make sure that when we talk about these things, we talk about them in terms of movement forward, so that we prevent people from having to lose their legs in the process and going through, exertion where it's like, we didn't know about this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no, like that's not okay. When I think of, I see that. That's hard.
Well, let me play this.
That's heartbreaking.
So that's him now,
after
that injury. And if you look at the scars, I mean, you look at his arms, like, to me, that's rhabdo, because they had to do that surgery to relieve the swelling, I imagine.
And the crazy part about that is there's nothing that, no matter how much money you win in a lawsuit.
Oh yeah. There's no money that's going to take care of that.
No.
Yeah, there's no money.
No. So it puts you in the space of saying, we've got to do better in these systems. These systems are ignoring, and I almost want to say on purpose. Here's why.
No. I'm not gonna let you get away with that. I'm not gonna let you get with that.
You're talking about story.
I'm not gonna let you get
Listen to what I'm saying. On purpose, because there has been conversations about reversing this. And a lot of these systems are set up so that what doesn't have the money doesn't get the attention. That's how the system's set up.
Yeah, but I got my sports show segment coming up next.
Yeah, I got you.
Even in the sports world environment, coaches, that goes back to the mentality of the sports. Coaches, water's weakness. What are you gonna do? You're gonna go hard in the fourth quarter, or you're gonna go try to get some water. That's a developing the toughness. But for some people, water is a necessity. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's that's the conversation for me that is my responsibility to get out there and have that discussion with the law enforcement, with the military, with the coaches. Yeah. Because it's not just sickle cell trait. We're one of 100 of different red blood cells that can experience the same thing. I can give that to you. This gentleman experience.
I can give that to you. And that's why I said there's two sides to the story. Yeah, there's a responsibility for the person to be verbal. I think that no matter how verbal you are, in some situations, if there's no training, you lose the freedom to be able to even say, because sometimes a person will say something, and because the system is not trained to see it as a priority, it doesn't get picked up by whoever it is. And that's EMS, that's
that's
EMS, that's everything. That's medical doctors. And what I was running through, and I know you got to go, so we'll pick this back up. But when I think about the intersection between health and mental health, we have some real disparities, and it's not just with sickle cell, by the way. But it's the intersection between mental health and our health systems. There are some real issues.
The biggest issue that I see that I'm gonna point to is with mental health. They spend a lot. They get billions of dollars to talk about mental health, run some PSAs, bring up a story, and then go home while people are suffering, not getting the help. So we can talk about mental health, or we got to talk from it. And let people come and share their stories and get real, create the space to, hey, you know what? I need some help. But without that lack of confidence, the lack of courage, the judgmental aspects of the world, then I'm not going to say nothing.
Absolutely.
But they're making billions of dollars talking about it, doing these campaigns, and then it's a wrap. And then we're over here. People are like, well, who do I go to?
I'll give you an example. Physicians. We don't think about this. Physicians, nurses, a therapist. When I say therapist, I don't mean mental health therapist, but us too. But I'm talking about physical therapists that work within the hospital settings.
Yeah.
Do you know that the level of suicide rates are so high among physicians because of stigmas? Just like we talk about stigmas in other diseases like sickle cell disease, there's stigmas for them to actually speak out and say that the systems are so heavy on them that it's causing them, whether it be depression, anxiety, or whatever else they may be experiencing. Because the moment that you experience that within certain circles, it's considered the end of your career. They may never say it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's one of the fears, right, of being discriminated against. Like I said, there's a whole, but again, it goes back to my conversation with veterans and athletes. What's the value of life? So then you got like this cadet. If maybe he would have understood the value of his life around his condition, maybe he would have picked a different job instead of, going to try to be a police officer.
Sure.
Right. So a lot of times we pick jobs out of a survival state of mind. Yeah. To make a better quality of life, but also we're dealing with our health that might not allow that quality. So you might, hey, you know what I can say? Go talk to God and find out why you were born. Find out your purpose in life. Maybe that might be what you have your conversations around, right? Sure. Then you can have a fulfilling job that doesn't bring on this level of stress and on your body and on your life because you're picking a job out of survival state.
I don't think that the systems are concerned with our level of stress, and yet the level of stress produce a lot of these mental health issues that we experience.
Yeah.
That's why I said the cross between health, like actual physical health and mental health.
Yeah.
That you know, our health systems and our mental health systems, we have some real things to
consider. People just need a space to have a space to tell the truth of what they're
There's
dealing
even
with.
more than that, Farron. Even more than that. We need to do that. We also need to look at the systems.
Well,
the
systems
are keep producing the systems that produce the stress, and then tell people go find a space for it. You go back, but it's like returning to the same thing.
Yeah, but there's a level of, so you're saying the system, right? Okay, so I give you the system, but it's
not one system.
But if we help people develop their self, with some strength and some confidence, some courage, then when I go to that system, I'm not bringing all of my stressors with me. I'm able to look at the system for what it's worth and navigate the system. You can navigate the system the way that the system is.
I hear you, but we cannot negate the fact that the systems themselves are incentivizing people to stay within the broken spaces.
Yeah,
and we got to look at that. We got to look at that. And
we're gonna talk about
how
that.
Are the systems creating this?
Next episode, we're gonna talk about a system, so we can point to a system.
Sure. That's
easy. To me, is the label. If I show up with the system with peace of mind and understanding, then I can go up against that system and navigate. And guess what? I might not need that system. I might think I need the system in my survival state, but guess what? If I'm up to what I'm about my life about, then that system, you know what? Unless I'm going to go run for office and change that system or go vote to have that system changed, the system is what it is. So it's up to me on how I show up to that system and navigate that for my life.
Personal responsibility.
That's a level.
There are two sides to the story. That's all.
Right. We're going to get to your side next episode.
No, that's not there are two sides. I agree. That's his Instagram right there. Make sure you check him out. And his .com right there, AlanEmmanuelTherapy.com. I appreciate your time, man, for hanging out tonight. Yeah, always great. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Oh man, we about to get it in. This is high school sports, football season. Crack. So I got my crew in, man. So
all right,
man. Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right, you too. All right. Again, this is the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, MBRadio.us. Make sure you check us out, all the platforms. We're coming back with the Sports Collective TV, media, and radio segment. Got the crew here on the deck, and we're going to get in. So what I got to do there? Oh, we're going to play this right here, the Farron Dozier Show, KC Radio.
Introducing J&J Beard Co., your go-to destination for high-quality, handmade, and natural beard products. Our family-owned business, based in New Jersey, prides itself on using the finest ingredients to bring you premium products that will elevate your grooming routine. Each product is carefully crafted with love and expertise, ensuring that you get the best care for your beard. Treat yourself to the luxury of J&J Beard Co. and experience the difference that true quality and craftsmanship can make for your beard. Join the J&J Beard Co. family today and unleash the full potential of your facial hair with our exceptional products. Find them on the web at jjbeardco.com. That's jjbeardco.com.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh, man, that shot was cold, man.
I hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn, are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I ain't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. You know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait? There's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army, 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org. All right, welcome back to the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also, MBRadio. Make sure you check us out there. We're on Roku TV as well, so make sure you go to Roku, search MBRadio or MBRadio, and you can find us. Download the channel and then launch it, and you can watch us and my veteran brothers and sisters live on the network as well. All right, so let me get my sports crew up here. Oh, wait, before I do that, you know, I'm working this StreamYard out right now. So here we go. So my uncle is performing in Atlanta August 25th. So if you're in the ATL, make sure you go check out my uncle who's performing. He's a guitarist, saxophonist, but he's going to be doing a tribute to Stevie Wonder at his concert there. So make sure you go to my Instagram, Farron Dozier Show, and the link is in there. You can get your tickets there if you're in ATL. All right. I appreciate y'all for that. So, all right. The moment you've been waiting for. Now, for those of you, this is my sports crew. We do Sports Collective TV, media, radio. Back in the day, I've had about 5 shows all at once. And so sports, for me, sports was always important. I was a huge sports fan, but prior to my injuries in the military and my depression and anxiety, I lost a lot of interest in things in life at the state of, wanted to take my life and life was over. And sports was a huge piece of it that I lost. And in 2010, I started a sports show on a Blog Talk Radio with a sports log. And that sports show really kept me alive. I mean, that's why I'm in front of you today, even on the platform like this, because I found that we created that sports show and it kept me alive. And so living into each week of that episode, as nervous as I was, drinking cranberry juice and vodka an hour before to try to kill my nerves because I didn't know what I was doing. But my guy Sports Log, he was in Boston. He's in Boston still. We did a sports show every week for 2 hours, and that kept me connected to the athletic world. And then when I discovered that my sickle cell trait was connected to athletes, that also connected me back to sports from my awareness. And then the mental toughness, dealing with my own mental health and mental toughness and being a basketball player. I kind of forgot that I was an athlete. And so remembering that I played basketball outside of my military career, that's what keeps me connected to sports. So I don't watch a lot of highlights. I don't watch a lot of sports. But my part of this conversation is the mental toughness, it's the mental health, it's the hydration, it's the sickle cell trait awareness, and the other red blood cell conditions that athletes can happen because athletes have died from this same experience that I did that I had in the military. So, so when you don't have that interest like you used to, what do? You surround yourself with people who still does, right? And so these are my friends. That we're on the radio together, but these are my guys, and they allow me to stay connected to the sports world. So this is our Sports Collective TV, media, radio crew. What's up, Coach?
What up? What's
Rob?
going on, man?
Rob?
So
this is the crew,
man.
Oh, yeah. Everything's cool, man. Everything's cool. Oh, Rob, you gotta unmute yourself, Rob.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
There it is.
What's happening?
Yeah, now I know I got to do my voice like that too. Yeah.
You got to make it deep for the radio. You got to get your radio voice in,
Got to
Coach.
get your radio voice ready.
TV voice in, Coach.
We try to
Keep it steady.
We try to marinate the mamas. We try to get their sons out.
The mamas and the sons out. You crazy shit, man. What's up, though, man? What's up,
You don't want to spend no money on no unofficial, right? Well, let me tell you something.
All right,
man.
Here we are.
Real.
Here we are, KCA Radio, MBRadio, Sports Selective TV Media Radio. Coach, man, introduce yourself. Rob's been on here last week, but introduce yourself, man.
He been on here, doing this thing, man. Coach Will, man. Coach Will Lang, man. Coach Will 247 on all, social media platforms and outlets. Man, you know what we're here to do,
Cool,
yes,
man.
Sir.
Rob, reintroduce.
Oh, you know who it is? Your boy Robert Lamar. Trying to go baby face and all. Look at
I was trying to see what I thought it was the lighting at first. I'm trying to see what is that.
I spooked myself like doing this, but I'm getting a lot of positive feedback on the ground, so I'm good with that.
Took off some years, huh?
Man, the way I look is like, man, that's when Will first saw me, man. When
y'all was playing against each other.
Man, that goes back to junior high. Yeah, man. We just excited though. There's so much good stuff happening. I mean, football season starting. Will has practically got into the tail end of his journey with him, getting his son to the point where he's going to be ready for the next level. Mm-hmm. So for him to let us know, I'm going to let him announce that. I'm not going to steal his thunder, but I'm extremely excited for.
Is that announcement coming tonight?
I don't know. It's up to Coach Will. But I'm extremely excited for Arion senior year, man. It's gonna be a movie. So yeah, man. Congrats, coach, to getting your son to this level. It's not easy. There's a lot of free work, like travel, sacrifices, and for the simple fact that you have them in a position to win. Man, kudos to you, man. If I had, I'd tip it to you, bro.
Man, as long as it's not a 49er hat, I appreciate it.
Ain't that stuff.
It's been a mission. It's been a mission. It's been a journey, and we just trying to complete it out the right way. Making the move was important. We should have made the move last year. Things are in a good space, though, a perfect space with a phenomenal program, well recognized, known for winning championships and having great players go to big time programs. And he's came in and made an immediate impact on that program. So I feel like he's going to be able to just have a big senior year. He left a lot on the table to make this decision. So he's definitely got to go get his bang for his buck. You know what I mean? He has to really get out there and do some things. They got a pretty great schedule. And him playing both ways still is a great thing. Like, nothing's changed. And they've accepted him with open arms and made him feel a part of the family. It's the program. It was the program that got me, more than anything. It was the program that got me. Those coaches, they've been doing it. They've been around. It's exciting, man. So, he is gonna go finish out his senior year at Los Alamitos High School.
Oh, dang. He announced it. He announced it. I thought you gonna keep it.
We gonna do it that way.
We gonna do it that way.
Yeah, man. It's important, man, to just have him around good people that understand what the mission is. And how to, get there, people that's going to push them, hold them accountable, and help them grow. People that want to see him grow, You know,
Yeah.
those are all big things, and you know, we made that move, and then now it was, you know, once everything was handled, now we're able to talk a little bit more about it. And you know, his off season was crazy. You know, playing with Fast Houston, playing on NFL Network. You know, overtime at the OT7 tournament, he made some huge plays. He had play of the week out there. I mean, he has a big. He has a, you know, his trajectory is in the right direction. So, we just want to have a big year, man. We just want to close out big, close out strong, keep the recruitment on point, until we can, you know, sign on that, you know, dotted line. Shit.
Let me ask you a question, Will, because, you know, I got a 10-year-old right now who, you know, he's playing in the same part that I grew up in, you know, Lakeview Terrace Rec. And, you know, I left a pretty good legacy over there. You know, we got banners. We hang banners up there.
Hanging banners.
And, you know, you always want your son to be better than you. Right. That's what we strive for. Keep it a buck. Sorry, I'm better than you.
Yeah, it's funny you said that. You know, I just feel like I was a different type of monster. I think this. I'll tell you this. Ariane, I just said this to him. I said, man, your mission, you know, I'm proud of you because your mission has been, you know, you play some big time football. You know, I went to Chatsworth. I went to San Fernando.
Yeah.
You know, City Ball was lit at that time. Don't
Yeah,
get me wrong.
It was.
And I played some NFL talent.
Yeah.
But at this level and at this phase of the football, you know, high school football, he's played against the most premier talent. He's played with the most premier talent as well. You know, he started off his freshman year playing with Floyd Chalk and Kevin Green and you know, and Larry Turner Gooden and all those boys, right? Then he played with Aaron Butler. He played with, you know, DeJohn Stanley, his cousin. You know, he's played with some great talent. And then this year he gets to play alongside of you know, some great guys with Esparza committed to Cal and Tron committed to SC, and you know, a phenomenal defense. Oh, the defense is crazy. And man, the
don't
kid
forget
just
Terry, man. Terry is a
no. Terry is oh man, you can't even think about forgetting Terry. He's a kid that just makes plays after play after play. And summer league, summer ball, the kid is scoring touchdown after touchdown. So, you know, amazing players. And then what I love most, and before I jump off the topic, is the character. You know, the character of the team and the makeup of the program. Those kids are great, man. Those kids are, you know, they carry themselves with respect. It's just it's a great thing, and it's diverse. It's very, very diverse. You know, I appreciate that as well.
Yeah.
Sweet, yo.
That's wild, man.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. So no, man. I don't know if he's better than me yet, man. I think
he's not going to admit that publicly.
I think I'm Jordan, and he LeBron. He LeBron and Kobe, whichever one you want to pick that you think is right there with Jordan. He LeBron or Kobe. I'm Jordan. He LeBron or Kobe. No, man. The older I get, I look back and I'm like, you know, I was fast. I had great routes. I had hands. I could cover. But you know, he can really do it all. You know, as much as I say, and a lot of people feel like, yeah, we could do it all. He's proved it, you know, on both sides of the ball that he could do it all.
The only thing I say is that, man, like when it comes to a speed demon, it's a certain type of talent to take a quick slant 75 yards, which I have seen you done. That's different.
Hey, that became a regular thing for like a couple of weeks. They would hit him with another slant. It was either a fade or a slant. You know what I mean? Coach was throwing me a fade or a slant, and I'm going 75. I'm going 80. That's what I mean, though. So I think that's where we separate a little bit. I think that I feel like maybe in that department, like my top end speed was crazy. You know, I can honestly say that, like, my top end speed was crazy. It wasn't stupid. Like it wasn't normal. You know, I really, you know, had top end speed that the track runners feared. Like they knew that what time it was when we lined it up. So whether it was the football field or the track, my speed was definitely one of my biggest separations. I think he has a balanced game. I think he definitely has. I think he has better routes. I think my route game and concept is fire, but I think he has better routes. Like he understands. You know what I'm saying?
I can
it's
agree
a
with
thing
that.
to see. It's
I can
a
agree with
thing to
that.
see. And he's a modern player. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's a modern player, so he does modern things. I'm still like, yeah.
Yeah, he was more balanced, but you got to understand this is what has been trained to do.
Right, right.
So basically, it's just like you trained him to be like this double-edged sword, and that's what's dope about it. It's just like see, the problem with you is when you're so fast like that, you really don't need to do a lot.
Right.
But the problem is,
right.
Somebody should have been here to basically say, well, you still got to, because you were able to get away with it, make it easy. And that's what separates you from training your son to make sure that he has all of that,
Yeah, those details. Yeah,
no doubt.
Definitely. That was the difference of me being who I was and being, a blue chip back, like what we called the blue chip back then. They call them 4-star, 5-stars. They call them 4-star and 5-star now. We used to call them blue chips.
Man, don't age us, man. You are aging us, bro.
Yeah, blue chips and white chip. Where do you rank? Y'all got your letters in the mail this week. The good days, the good days. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I'm really excited to talk a little bit about the preseason rankings, man, and what we've seen a little bit about with what's to come. I know I don't care to over elaborate on any one team, but I just think football season's here, fellas, and they need to hear the Sports Collective Media, POV, and hear a little bit about what we think about these rankings that continue to come out year after year, and it seems to be the same teams at the top and at the bottom.
So with that conversation, modern day seems to be around every year. Robert Lamar, is that true or false?
Oh, it's absolutely true. And for what they're saying down there in Santa Ana, that this might be their best team since the Bryce Young years. That's what they're saying. And if that's the case, then watch out. I mean, you see number 15 right there. That's Chris Henry's son, Chris Henry Jr. And I believe some publications have him ranked as the number 1 wide receiver in the country. Looks just like his father.
Yes, it does.
They're just, I mean, with modern day, it's just like, do you got to be a genius to talk about modern day? Do you not know they're 3 deep in like every position? It's like, we don't got to make this seem like this is something that's rocket science. They're 3 deep everywhere.
Definitely.
And they have a really tough game with Bishop Gorman, but if this team gels, it's going to be hard to beat this team. Like, simple as that. Like, they just seem like they're pretty deep throughout everywhere. And when it all comes down to it, there's so much talent in Southern Cal, but you're going to win championships in the trenches, and that's what separates them. They got Tom, who I believe committed to Utah, I believe. It's just like, it's just, I'm not going to say I'm getting tired of it, but I'm getting tired of it. It's like, man, they offer so much.
Yeah.
Vanpool. Hey, now the funny part is that's actually what scares me with them. And I'm going to say this. Long Beach Poly always had the top talent in the country when Laura was there. Some way, somehow, Laura would figure out how to lose some big games.
All right.
Let's see if these teams are so loaded to the point where he can't lose these games.
Right.
Let's address another one before we get out of here, which is always
seems to be. And we know a couple cats that just left there. Bosco, what y'all got about Bosco, man?
Nothing but love for Bosco, but a lot of people are leaving, and it seems like they're going to look. Is it Warring and Losingers? I heard it's the top destination for Bosco treadways.
I've seen a lot of Bosco players. They've hit Warren. Let me just start with saying a lot of players are returning home.
Oh,
so you had the kid, guys who left Bosco, went back to, Centennial or Sarah or, some of those type of programs. Bosco, leaving there, like he talked about, going over to Warren, and programs that are local to the area still. Bosco's a phenomenal program. I don't think that they'll ever not be a great program. They have a great staff, but something did shake up over there where you had several players, check out. Even had some of the young freshmen who were the up and coming freshman kids, transferred out. Kid left, went back to Carlsbad. He's over at Carlsbad, two-way starter now. You know what I mean? So opportunities were out there. I think what it was with some kids, but then they also got in some kids. They got some guys in from Los Al. They got some guys in from Servite. It's kind of like a push and pull, but they have their core, and they're going to be a great team.
Did the check bounce for certain kids or something?
I don't know. I'll say this: I want to see how long they stay at the top of the rankings this year.
What about Centennial? Anybody got anything about Corona Centennial football? Rob?
Number one quarterback in the state,
Mr. Hassan. Hassan is that kid in the middle right there. Is all that in a bag of chips. Mr. Longstreet, who USC is doing their hardest to try to get away from A&M. That seems like that is modern day's toughest challenge. They are the number 2 ranked team in the state, and they annually play modern day, to open the season. So that could be a dogfight, or it could be controlled by one or the other. But history tells us recently that these two teams might meet in the playoffs, and it's going to be real when that happens. So this is probably the best Centennial team that they've had in maybe like the last probably 5 years, I say. This team is deep. Centennial looks really, really good, and their system is elite. The only thing I don't like about Centennial, you could have a talented running back that's going to get 2,000 yards, and they're going to say that he's not that good because the system does this practically for everybody. It's an excellent system, but man, Centennial is going to be really damn good this year.
So, ladies and gentlemen, those of you that are interested in sports with us, the Collective will be back on a weekly basis coming up. So just stay tuned for that at Sports Collective Media on Instagram, Facebook as well. I got to play this last PSA. I appreciate y'all fellas for hanging out tonight. Again, KCA Radio, AM, FM, MBR Radio on Roku. We're all over TikTok platforms, Twitch. Shouts out to the MBR station and KCAA. We appreciate you for tuning and listening.
Follow us, man. Let's run this thing up. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Again, thanks for tuning in to the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, and streaming at kcaradio.com. After the show, the platforms, Spotify, iHeart, wherever you get your podcast, the show will be there as well. I appreciate you tonight.
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Calmago. Calmago is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes in moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia. Not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Comigo decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Comigo.com to learn how you can get Comigo through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.